You're watching Taste of Victory.
So, full disclosure, this video is going to be mainly nitpicky. I know this is a very me complaint, but it's something that's been on my mind about the game for a while. A too much of a good thing situation, if you will. Getting a card game to connect with a wide audience is made up of many important factors, one of the bigger factors being the artwork. A lot of people that buy into a card game will never play it. They just want to collect the pieces of art featured on the card or want memorabilia of their favorite character or sports player. This is why good, or at the very least interesting art is important and one of the things that a TCG lives or dies by. Every year, every new game, TCGs or trading card games, if the algorithm brought you here, come up with exciting and inventive new ways to spice up the artwork on the little pieces of cardboard to catch more people's attention. From cool new holographic patterns to full arts to even cards to fold out into a bigger illustration. But there's kind of an unspoken rule when it comes to these outstanding new arts. They're the premium of a set. They are harder to pull and are the chase cards that encourage you to keep opening packs of a set to try and pull it, because buying it on its own is so expensive and feels bad. But a new set needs around 100 new cards and art to fill up those packs. In contrast, the rare and lower arts are more tame, framed in a box, normal. There's no actual written rule that common and uncommon or rare cards need to have weaker art. But with around 100 new arts to produce in a set in most games, even with contracting different artists, and knowing that the commons will become bulk that sits in someone's dark closet or gets thrown in the trash, it's not usually a top priority. There's definitely gorgeous card art that is printed at the common or uncommon level, but if a ton end up being forgettable, most people aren't going to raise their pitchforks. Enter the Digimon card game. Released during the pandemic in 2020, I think Bandai knew it needed to come out with a bang to stick around. First releasing with starter decks featuring banger dynamic art, and later following up with the first set featuring gorgeous artwork with great alt arts. Not only did you have beautiful art everywhere, a lot of the cards contained references to the games, animes, or even toys. Some of them real deep cuts, showing a lot of passion going into this game even with just the commons. New sets would come out with themed alternate arts to spice up the pulls. You would even get gorgeous full arts on the common cards. It makes every set gorgeous and fun to open packs of, but the full art commons is also where my weird take starts to come in. Pulling full art cards in a booster pack is an event. You immediately realize something that normally shouldn't happen just happened. You hit the jackpot and it feels special. They're immediately distinguishable from regular arts by breaking the conventions of the normal trading card, such as by having no border, being fully foiled, or having texture. When you start having commons that break such a huge convention like having no border though, it kind of diminishes its luster just a bit. Did I pull a super rare card? Oh, no, it's just a common. Wow, that's incredible art for just a common. Why am I fishing so hard for the super rare then though? This common rocks. It's not like every other common does this full art thing though, so it's really not the biggest deal. But with rares, I think it's a little weirder in Digimon specifically. Digimon rares are foil all over the border. With the way most super rares are foiled in this game, foiling the background art and not the art of the Digimon itself, a lot of absolutely gorgeous rares end up looking close enough to a super rare. While sure, one way this could be looked at is that it makes every pack exciting to pull and rewarding, the other side is that you might not even realize you're hitting a super rare, or if you do, some of them don't feel that special. If everyone's super, no one is. To further add to this, Digimon cards used to have a black faded layer of color behind the text near the bottom of the art. This helped make the text more legible and serve as the border of the art like in traditional games like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Around set 13, this border started getting phased out, and by set 14, this border was removed from every card and now the text is just hovering over the art. This always bothered me because not only did it help make the text more legible, which to be fair, the text isn't that much harder to read now or anything, but it did help, but it also removes one of the rules to break to make full art so special and instantly recognizable I mentioned earlier. Pokemon card art is very boxed in, which makes the full arts in that game so special the second you pull them, even for the illustration rares that are much more common and not that rare despite being full arts. Stay with me for a second. This analogy is going to get a little goofy. Rules when applied fairly are not meant to restrict but to protect and enhance. In wrestling, there's tag team matches where one guy is in the ring and his partner's on the apron waiting to be tagged in before he can do anything. There is a little tag rope you have to be holding when your partner tags you so that the tag is considered legal. For the longest time in wrestling, there was only one monolith company, WWE. But now there's finally a big second competitor called AEW. AEW and WWE have very different approaches to their tag team matches. The expected tag rules are that you have to wait to be tagged in while holding the tag rope, and if you do get tagged in, you only get like 5 or so seconds to do tag team maneuvers. WWE does a pretty consistent job of sticking to this. However, in AEW, tag team matches will often break down into chaos, and all 4 men will just be in the ring at the same time, all doing tag maneuvers, with the ref doing nothing. This is exciting and fun, and it has its own fan base and appeal, but will drive others nuts for never even trying to follow any of the standard rules of wrestling. Who cares though, right? This is way more hype. Sure, but consider for a second one of the greatest wrestlers to ever live, Eddie Guerrero. Eddie was loved for his gimmick of lying, cheating, and stealing, which often led to hilarious moments in a match. One of his most memorable bits was in a tag match. In wrestling, there's an obvious good guy and bad guy. Usually in tag wrestling, the trope is the 2 bad guys beat down and isolate one of the good guys so they can't tag, but when they finally do, the crowd explodes because his partner can finally get back at them. So remember the tag rope rule we mentioned earlier, they gotta be holding it. Obviously this makes it harder to reach out for a tag when the bad guys are isolating your partner on the other side of the ring. You wanna reach in and grab them, but you gotta hold that tag rope for it to count. Eddie was always coming up with inventive and funny new ways to break the rules to win a match, so check this one out.
I think that Orlando's got the goods.
Yeah, look at Eddie Guerrero as Booker T desperately tries to...
How about the ref, huh? Orlando's got that smile on his face and... Hurry up over there. Oh, wait a minute. Look at all of this. Oh, it's so funny about that. That's not cool.
Well, Eddie has the tag rope. Vintage Eddie Guerrero.
He's ready. It is funny.
Eddie has the tag rope.
I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before.
Well, Eddie's innovative. And now the referee making sure Eddie Guerrero gets back to the court.
Eddie plays around with a tag rope rule to create a hilarious scenario that wouldn't make sense otherwise. You can't really do this in current AEW because a lot of tag matches descend into a free-for-all, so you just be watching it like, why is he doing that? Just attack the bad guys. Having rules established lets you break them in creative ways that enhances the performance. Removing the black text box is kind of like removing the tag rope. There's one less rule to break that makes the fancy cards fancy. Almost every super rare being full art makes it harder to tell apart from alternate arts or secret rares. The moment this became really apparent to me was when I was watching a box opening video. My YouTube recommended me a box opening video of Booster Set 8 from Simply Unlucky back in the day. I'm watching and pretty early into the video he hits an insane pull. Alternate art Creepymon. Creepymon is one of the secret rares in this set. Secret rare is the highest normal rarity before you start getting into special rarities like alt arts. There's only 2 secret rares in the set and they're not guaranteed in a box. To pull an alternate art of that is crazy. The odds are low. This is hype. And he doesn't even realize he pulled an alt art secret. The art looks appropriately epic for a secret alt art, but so do many of the amazing arts on regular super rares in the Digimon card game, so he couldn't tell. He pulls regular Creepymon later in this video and puts 2 and 2 together, but he still had a moment of not being sure which is which.
I know! Creepymon secret alternative art! Yo! Secret alternative. Oh! I just realized! Creepymon, this is the alternative, guys! Oh my god!
Since the regular super art is also full art, you see Creepymon's wings going through the DP counter and everything. Again, if everything's super, nothing is. This is my first time watching one of this guy's videos, so from what I understand, he's super casual about other games. So you might say this guy doesn't know anything about the set he's opening and regular players will be hyped and know what they're pulling. I would say to you in response, the average customer keeping games like this alive are the ones that don't know anything. They'll see a pack of cards near checkout and get curious, or notice them in their local game store or in another aisle and get nostalgic, decide to pick up a couple packs. This video is certainly rambly and just me nitpicking. By the logic I just mentioned, why not just load up the packs with shiny full art cards if you want to appeal to a super casual audience? But I just think taking some steps to make the special hits feel that much more special really goes a long way. And it's about finding a balance between making them few and far between, but not too rare. I kind of think Bandai realizes this too, since they've started introducing more special rarities in newer sets, like the absolutely gorgeous silver arts in Booster Set 16 that are very hard to pull. They look immediately different from anything else you're opening in an average Digimon booster box, and they're not even guaranteed in one case. I think the issue starts with the default card layout being seen as a restriction though. The border, framing, and layouts of cards are the most basic way to express a game's style, theming, and art. It's an art form to master in itself to show off the uniqueness of your card game without sacrificing too much space for the text, so the card art can still be appreciated. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and Magic the Gathering are all immediately recognizable at a glance of any random card because of their iconic colors and card layout. This didn't really hit me until I learned the other day there was a Detective Conan card game. The first cards I saw were full art anime arts. That, paired with the layout and styling of the text, I noticed that these really look like One Piece cards. If I didn't know either property, I would mistake these for the same game at a glance. A while ago, Critical, or Charlie I guess, I used to watch this guy as a kid, so it takes some getting used to calling him something other than Critical, talked about on stream how he thinks the One Piece card game layout is generic and turns him off from the game.
I will say I really hate the generic TCG style that this is using. So many throwaway card games use that same style. It's so boring. It's so lazy.
I was kind of confused by this at the time, but looking at some other games at a glance like Dragon Ball Super card game, Vanguard, and Way Schwartz, I think I get what he means now. They all place the art front and center all over the card with the text just floating near the bottom. Personally, I do think this is cool to get maximum space to show off the great art, but I also see how this can really start to blend together for the more casual consumer. This layout style relies on your game's art style to distinguish itself, and when you're going for the average anime look, well, it can be easy to get mixed up in the shuffle. In comparison, if I so much as see a blur of the original Digimon card game from the early 2000s, I can instantly tell it's a Digimon card. That game may have bombed over here because they changed the rules, but in Japan it was a hit and went on for years before finally getting discontinued. The layout and bordering is so iconic that the current Digimon card game has used that style as special alt arts in certain sets. Obviously, there might not necessarily be a right or wrong answer. Like the wrestling example earlier, I love watching both WWE and AEW, even though they have very different styles. But those different styles both have their strengths and both are entertaining. There's pros and cons to not decking out every common card with gorgeous full art, and I can enjoy either direction Bandai would take the game in the future. In the end, the current path is one that really helped Digimon stand out as a new game when it first got released. The extraordinary art on comics was one of the most commonly cited appeals of the game in the early days. This is really just an observation of the art I wanted to make for a while that isn't really anything more than me nitpicking and rambling, so hopefully the name of the video makes sense at least. I understand how dumb, "whoa, the art is consistently too good in this game" sounds. I don't think anything needs to be done about my weird observation, I just wanted to yap. There are other modern games that are going strong right now that don't even have full art, so maybe we just have it too good over here in Digimon, so I shouldn't be complaining. Thank you so much for watching. I know this is my first upload in a very long time because I just have not been working on videos. I will try to at least start streaming regularly now that we have DCGO, which is an online simulator for the Digimon card game that you can play for free. Works on any potato computer. It's awesome. You could do that. So I'll try to start streaming that more often so we at least have more content related to Digimon on the channel, and we'll see where life takes us from there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts about this because I think this is a really specific thing that only me, who overlooks and overthinks this game, would come up with. But I hope to see you guys again in the next video. And until then, remember to stay hungry until you get a taste of victory.